Question 7. Internal surface of cranial base. The cranial base is the internal surface of the floor of the cranium, and it is divided into the anterior, middle, and posterior cranial fossa. The anterior cranial fossa consists of the orbital part superior surface of frontal bone, ethmoidal bone, cribriform plate, and sphenoid bone, the superior surface of body and lesser wings. The middle cranial fossa consists of the sphenoid bone, the body of sphenoid bone, superior surface, greater wings, cerebral surface, temporal bone, petrous part, anterior surface, squamous part, cerebral surface. And other important details of middle cranial fossa is the superior orbital fissure. The borders of the superior orbital fissure is the lesser wings and greater wings. Greater wings. Now the posterior cranial fossa consists of the petrous part of temporal bone, posterior surface of petrous part, and internal surface of mastoid part of temporal bone. And also the occipital bone, the superior surface of basilar part, superior surface of lateral parts, and internal surface of squama. Other important structures on the posterior cranial fossa is the jugular foramen. The borders are jugular notch of occipital bone and dorsal margin of petrous part. And we have also foramen lacerum here, a carotid canal in here, and this is foramen lacerum. The borders are the sphenoid bone, petrous part of temporal bone, and occipital bone. The next is the vessels and nerves transmitted through the foramina on internal surface of cranial base. Firstly, you have cribriform plate, where the olfactory nerve goes through the small holes. Next you have the optic canal, which contains the optic nerve and ophthalmic artery. Next you have superior orbital fissure, which contains the oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerve, abducent nerve, ophthalmic nerve, and superior ophthalmic vein. So the 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 5-1 cranial nerves and superior ophthalmic vein. Next we have foramen rotundum, which contains the maxillary nerve, 5-2. Next we have foramen ovale, oval foramen, contains mandibular nerve, 5-3. Foramen spinosum, here, which contains middle meningeal artery. Next we have internal acoustic meatus, contains facial nerve and vestibulocochlear nerve, 7th and 8th cranial nerve. Next we have carotid canal, contains internal carotid artery. And we have jugular foramen, contains internal jugular vein, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, and accessory nerve. So the 9th, 10th, and 11th cranial nerves and internal jugular vein. Then we have a hypoglossal canal, which contains the hypoglossal nerve, or the 12th cranial nerve. Lastly, we have foramen magnum, which contains the medulla oblongata, vertebral arteries, spinal roots of accessory nerves.